Hello, this is Nitin Dahad with the Times, and I'm talking to Pawel Malinowski, who's responsible for imaging at imec. Pawel, hello.
Hi Nitin. Nice having you here.
So you're going to tell us a little bit about what you're working on here, which is we're at the ITF World 2025 forum in Antwerp in Belgium, and there's a showcase of the technologies around here, and the SWIR camera with lead-free quantum dots is where we're at right now with Pawel. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, thanks for passing by. This is the shortwave infrared camera. This is the demonstrator that we made using the quantum dot technology. And we set up this little scene to show some applications, for example, in automotive space, where we have some rotating objects, people dressed in different clothes, some with the very dark background, which is very difficult to distinguish for the regular cameras. We also have the very strong backlight, which is blinding the regular cameras. And at some point we can also inject some additional disruptions like the smoke.
And that's basically shown with the traditional and the RGB.
Right, yeah, so you have the video from the SWIR camera on the left-hand side and the RGB on the right-hand side, and you see that the SWIR camera is still picking up some details even when there is smoke, even when there is the difficult situation like black on black view. So you can see that here is getting pretty messy already, and the SWIR camera can still pick up some signals. So we think that long term, especially if we are talking about very difficult cases where you have to pick up the finest details, for example in full autonomy cars driving themselves, when the conditions get worse, you need to still have this additional visibility. Similar for the in-cabin solutions where you have people vaping or when you have sunglasses obscuring the view. You still need to see the driver, you need to see where they are looking. So we think that SWIR is one of the contenders to solve such issues.
And what are the breakthroughs you've sort of achieved here at imec and that you're trying to take out to market?
Yeah, so this demonstration is using quantum dot technology, which is, we call it monolithic hybrid approach, where you have thin film materials sensitive to these longer wavelengths, and they are integrated directly on the silicon chip. This is something different than what is done traditionally with hybrid bonding. So we think that this is a technology that can scale to volumes. You are very flexible in going to very high resolution, small pixel pitch. So you have this design flexibility like in CIS, but you are extending the range in wavelength. And one of the features that we want to highlight is that this sensor is using lead-free materials.
Okay.
This is something that we showed at IEDM last December, and we are bringing it live here in the demonstration. And you can see that the image quality
lead-free is important for markets like automotive.
It's important for automotive, for consumer. We are talking about long-term roadmaps, and we think that in the future, lead-free will be even more important.
Okay.
I think for some applications that are closer now, and some applications where SWIR is already familiar, like in security, like in industrial machine vision, space, there you don't really have to convince people of importance of SWIR. And then it's important to have the right form factor, drop the cost, have additional functionality. For these high volume applications, I think SWIR is still the contender. It can end up in the product roadmaps, and lead-free is one of the features to enable that.
And what kind of resolution do you get with this?
Here the demo is quite modest because it's VGA with 5 micron pixel, but we demonstrated also pixels down to 1.6 micron with 1.5 megapixel. And the beauty of this technology is that you are not really constrained. You can design whatever because you have a monolithic integration, so you can have a lot of pixels. They can be small, they can be large, and then you customize on the photodiode.
Now you'll be working on that sensor fusion for with other sensors and cameras. How's that work with the ecosystem going right now?
I think that's one of the very important features that sometimes we forget in technology development. At some points you need to have a path to making it, enabling it. Yeah. That's why we are trying to gather the ecosystem, different players at different tiers together, from OEMs to material suppliers.
Materials are pretty solid already, I guess.
materials are solid, and normally material companies are the first ones that have to be active because it's enabled by a new chemistry. So you have to be very proactive, see what will come in the future, and I think it's still a lot of challenges on the material. So we are working very closely with partners from material space. Then you have the fabs that need to implement this process, and then tool companies that will insert that maybe new tools or adapted tools into the fabs. Then you have the system level. So even if you have the sensor, if you can make it and it can be priced well, it needs to fit with the lenses, with the illuminators, with the processing. So it's all about getting all these partners together and getting a trigger to show that this is possible.
And you have quite a chicken and egg situation where the OEMs are saying, well, show us something, but you need that commitment from them. Is that right? Yes.
I think we are here in ITF, so that's the privilege of being here, that you have actually all the stakeholders that you need. Yeah. So in principle, you can, with all these partners, you can build such a system, and the important thing is to show to the OEMs the path towards industrialization, that you can actually implement it and you can make a product. For the foundries, IDMs, to get this lighthouse application, to show that, okay, it can scale to volume, to give you the rationality to invest in this. Yeah. So all of this has to click together, all the stars have to align. Yeah. And what we are doing here is showing, look, it's possible to make such a sensor, it's possible to do it with lead-free, and there is a path to industrialization.
And what kind of cost can we expect for the sensors ultimately? And we're talking about like a few years away still, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we are talking about long term, so 5 to 10 years, especially for automotive, which is very long. I think for other applications it's probably shorter. If you look at how the sensors are made, which means how many mask levels do you need, what is the cost of material, what is the cost of the readout, and all together, I think you can think or dream about going to double digits or maybe higher single digits price per sensor.
Yeah. Depending on volume, obviously. Yeah.
Once the volume is established, once you have the supply chain, and once you can actually make it. So I think that's the long-term goal. In between, it will be more expensive, but I think we have to understand the scalability of the technology. That's why most of our effort is going not really into demonstrating you can do such a sensor, but what is the reliability, what is the manufacturability, what is the supply chain, and how do you actually bring it into the application?
Now, you're involved in imaging in imec. What excites you currently? What's keeping you going every day?
I think it's always fun working on cameras because you directly see the output, and we love bringing this new sensor prototypes and showing what they can do. Yeah. I think I strongly believe that the cameras are really at the core of these future systems, and it can be cars, it can be robots, it can be all the automation systems.
Yeah. So, which we have all of over here anyway.
Yeah, so it's all about AI and robotics and automotive. So I really believe that there will be the need for more sensors, significantly more, but also new modalities. So I think there is a place. It's not about replacing something with SWIR, it's more adding functionality, extending the range of functionalities, and more customization.
Well, at the keynotes this morning, they were talking about quality of data, and that quality of data requires good sensors.
Yeah. So I think that the sensors largely drive this expansion in semiconductors, and I think now we see more fragmentation, which you can see as a challenge, but I think it's a very nice opportunity to have a lot of different sensors customized for the function.
Well, Pawel, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Pleasure having you.